Yeah, thanks for having us.
Definitely. I was not aware you were basketball fans until you messaged me. So I'm glad to know this.
Hell yeah.
Um yeah, thank you both for joining. Excited to talk a little Bulls. I assume you're both Bulls fans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I like to start off talking a little music first, and I guess the little tip-off question is I like to ask people what they're listening to lately.
Mm. Well, we actually just were recording for like a couple weeks and I listened to like absolutely no music that whole time.
Same.
Um but yeah, I've been trying to like remember what I like. Honestly, just like a lot of like Graham Parsons and stuff.
Yeah, awesome.
Um, yeah, what about you?
Um, well, I just opened up my Spotify to check my played, and the first thing, the first thing that came up was Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, but I've been listening a lot to this Ray Price record, Nightlife. It's got some really crazy pedal steel on it. It's really cool.
Nice.
And let's see, what else have I got going here? Um, this band Knife in the Water from uh Austin. They're like a 90s Austin band.
Cool.
And last month, or I guess earlier this month, recorded like a couple songs with our friend Lefty Parker at this guy from Knife in the Water studio. So it made me check out his stuff, and I've been like obsessing over it.
Oh, cool. Very nice.
Yeah.
Some good recommendations. I gotta check some of those
Yeah.
out for sure.
Lucinda Williams too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like you were definitely in a specific zone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been that way
Awesome.
for a few months now.
Yeah.
But
So you said you were recording a new album?
yeah. Yeah, we did
Very
that in
awesome.
Texas.
Sweet. Yeah, I feel like 2023 you put out Practice. I feel like 2023 in general was a pretty good year for you guys, yeah?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. It seemed like you were touring a lot.
Yeah. We got to do um four total tours. Which was or five actually. So yeah, it was that was really cool to be able to
Yeah.
spend most of the year doing that. And yeah.
Nice. Very awesome. Yeah, I was able to catch you with the Howdy acoustic
Oh,
duos.
cool.
It was yeah, that was a solid show. It was really good.
That was really fun. Yeah, it
I
was
haven't
fun.
been to a seated show like that in a while.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was gonna be seated.
It
I
It was
love that
definitely,
vibe.
yeah, it was really sick.
was
Also
cool. It
love
was a good
sitting.
vibe.
I love sitting on stage also.
Yeah,
There you
well, I
go.
feel like it's sometimes it's weird to be sitting on stage and then everyone else is standing.
Right.
So like when the audience kind of meets you where you are, that's nice.
Yeah. And it seemed like that too felt like it fit because you also released the Loft EP later in the year. I feel like
Hmm.
it kind of fit that vibe a little closer, right?
Yeah, solo,
For sure.
yeah.
So you had I mean you had Practice, which was more full band, and you had the Loft sessions, which were more stripped down. Do you like having both worlds, or do you prefer kind of doing one way or another?
I like both a
Yeah.
lot. I feel like it's nice. I feel like also it's tough to choose sometimes
Right.
because it's like out of the music that I like, so much of it is like, bands, and
Hmm.
then so much of it is just songwriters like playing guitar. And so it's nice to not always have to like totally choose one or the other to kind of have things from each world existing.
Right. And it does seem too like having multiple versions of a song, it's like it gives it a whole different life.
Yeah. I mean, I think for even just for myself, it made me feel like, oh, I there are things in this song that I didn't really notice before or whatever.
Sure.
Um,
Cool.
so yeah, it's nice to put a spin on things.
Nice. Very cool. And the new stuff you were recording, does that feel like it's in one direction or another, or is it something kind of a little more different?
I would say it leans more into the band
Yeah.
thing. I mean, practice is like, you know, that energy too, but I think that it was more like pieced together over a long period of time versus like this this record we did so much of it just playing as a band, and I think that was like the intention, and I hope that comes across, like it sounds like you're in a room with the band as opposed to like something that's being structured
Right.
with a
Yeah,
song.
I feel like it does definitely does come across, at least on practice it does for sure.
Mhm.
Uh cool. And you know, in terms of 2024, do you think you're gonna pull back on some of the touring a little bit, or is you just
Um,
gonna pick up where you left off?
I think yeah, probably no pulling back yet.
Yeah.
I think I need to be in it a couple more years before I
Yeah.
can start to do that. But no, I mean, I think we're all pretty excited to like go in full force.
Mhm.
Um, and especially now that Andy is playing with us.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's fun. We're really excited.
Andy, have you kind of always played with Sophia, or have you come on more recently?
Uh, that's a pretty recent thing. I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember the first time we actually played together. I think it might have been like last spring when we did like a funny cover set together.
Yeah, we did.
Uh,
Yeah, we did like a at a friend's house show, like a cover set of like really random songs.
played
Like
the
there were
Fray,
yeah, The Fray,
Oh wow.
one of my favorite bands.
and what's that? Quarter after one. What's that
Lady
song?
A.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great song.
That was like the actual first time that we played together, but
Yeah.
I think as like part of Free Range, my first time playing with them was on the tour with Rat Boys last fall,
Hmm.
uh, in September. So still like relatively new to things.
Yeah. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, it sounds great, and definitely looking forward to that next album and seeing also. So like Andy, you recorded on this one, like I guess you were part of it from the start then?
Yeah, yeah. Played guitar and pedal steel. Um, yeah, it was so fun just getting to do like Sophia said, just like so much of it live as a band in a room. Um, it's I feel like a lot of my experience with recording is like not doing that. It's all like layering
Hmm.
everything. Of course, there's pros and cons to either way, but uh, I think Sophia's music really lends itself to doing it the way we did, and it's just got like such a like raw and real energy to it, and like I don't know, it was cool. Like some of the songs, just embracing that like live in a room feel and like not doing it to a click and just like the natural push and pull of the tempo and dynamics and just like rolling with that. And I think that vibe is really cool with Sophia's music.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds great. Uh, and I guess as you were recording, as you know, talking a little transition to basketball here, were you talking hoops at all while you're recording?
Obviously, yeah. I mean, that was
Oh, and
actually a very huge part of it. Or just sports in general for sure. I
Sure.
mean, our other two bandmates, Jack and Bailey, are not really sports people.
Hmm.
So we kind of and the people that we were recording with in Texas, they're all really, really into basketball. And
Oh,
so
cool.
like Andy and I kind of went down with the intention of like we're gonna get Jack and Bailey into basketball. And I think we were successful. Like we just were watching the Bulls games and then
Hmm.
um told them about Wembanyama and they really loved that.
Yeah.
And
I've Were
so
you down there when they played the Spurs?
mm-hmm.
yeah,
Oh, nice.
which is cool. We were like I mean we're like 3 hours away. We're
We're
so
so
close.
close to Wemby.
Yeah.
Um,
Amazing.
but yeah, and then like I really like football too, so
Oh, cool.
that was a big thing too, like watching the playoff games and stuff. But yeah, it was like a very sports driven session. There was like one morning too where it was like midday or like 10 or something, and I had to record guitar, but I also had to watch the Like my soccer team is the Tottenham Hotspurs.
Oh,
And
nice.
then they were playing, and so I had like a stream pulled up like on the floor while I was playing guitar. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah, you gotta have it going. It's a
Yeah,
source of inspiration.
I
really.
didn't realize you were doing that.
Yeah, it was really funny. It felt slightly unprofessional, but I think we were all like on the same page.
You can
No,
hear
I
it. You can hear it in the
So
take.
yeah, he's like blaring. I
especially
got a take, so it's
the
fine.
Premier League announcers, just
Oh yeah,
coming
have
coming
that.
through.
Yeah,
You
that
should
would be
just
really
honestly, you
great.
should just do a sample of like the Premier League announcers.
Yeah.
Yeah. This has
Um,
got to be the one.
yeah,
What if we could
exactly.
hire them to get on a track?
Yeah, like ad lib,
Yeah.
Oh
British,
man, that's
anything
amazing.
British, soccer ad libbing.
Mhm.
I guess in terms of, like I guess growing up with basketball, starting, I guess we'll start with you, Andy. Like, have you kind of always been a sports fan, a Bulls fan? I guess when do you have any like early kind of childhood memories like watching the Bulls or anything?
Yeah, so I've been into sports like for as long as I can remember. I think when I was a kid, I was like mainly into baseball and like I
Yeah.
played baseball and my family's all Cubs fans and uh like I don't know. Uh I was 3 for the last Bulls championship, so I don't remember it, but all my like baby pictures I'm in like full Bulls uniforms
Right.
basically like but I think uh for me when I like really got into basketball was the Derrick Rose MVP season.
Hmm.
Uh that was that was like I think the most exciting sports has ever been to me. Uh and Derrick Rose is probably like my favorite athlete ever. Uh and actually I remember like one of the first times Sofia came over to watch basketball with me. I was just showing them Derrick Rose highlights for like an hour after the game.
Yeah,
We
Uh,
do that, as Bulls fans. Sometimes you just go down that rabbit
gotta. We've
hole,
definitely done that again since then
yeah,
too.
I was like,
Like watching
he's
the
only
same.
22.
and it's like, it's like also fun to watch, and then all of a sudden you're like kind of sad just watching
Oh
it.
my God, yeah.
For no reason. You're just like, yeah,
I've like
Yeah.
probably watched those videos while crying before. Um, but those Bulls teams were so much fun. I mean, and just like so I don't know, like Luol Deng and Joakim Noah are two of my other like all-time favorite players. And
Mhm.
uh I think like early 2010s is when I really got into it. And I think like since then I've just sort of like the Bulls are my favorite team for sure, but I'm just sort of like an NBA fan. Like I feel like most any game that's on, I can find like a reason to want to watch it. Uh
I do feel like in the past, maybe 5, even more years, um, that effect has kind of been had in the NBA where like it's become a more generalist sport for just audiences. Like you have your team, sure, but people, I'd say more than any other sport, people love watching other teams.
totally, yeah. It's like the players, I think it might have something to do with just like how few players are on the court at one time.
yeah,
That
Yeah.
it's like their personality is such a big part of the game.
Hmm.
And they're like superheroes. Like
Totally.
Wembanyama just already, I mean, he's only like 20 years old, and just the things that he's doing are like that. Like, there's no way somebody should be able to do that.
Yep. I
I
actually
like
I saw a clip like right before this of they're playing the Sixers
Joel
tonight.
Embiid.
Joel
That
Embiid's
that
like,
dude,
"Oh,
yeah.
he's taller than me." Okay.
He like like walked past me, like sized him up, and was
Yeah.
like, and then just like did like
Yeah, I think
fucking.
he like prayed or something.
He
Yeah.
literally did a prayer. Yeah, it was really funny.
Awesome.
Oh man, yeah,
Yeah, and I
so
feel
good.
like just the last handful of years as a Bulls fan, also, it's kind of like forced me to watch other teams
Yeah.
Yeah,
just because it's been kind of
Yeah.
hard
that's just
watching the
like
Bulls.
being a fan of Chicago sports is like you have your Chicago team that you'll like always love, and then you have the team that you like follow during the season
Totally.
because
Totally.
they like actually are, you know, going somewhere.
Yeah, I've been
Absolutely.
having a lot of fun like watching the Timberwolves this season. Like I love Anthony Edwards,
Ant is great.
uh, and like our friend's a big Knicks fan, so we're like by extension we've been watching a lot of Knicks games too.
Yeah.
It's been
I
fun.
actually just sent you a video of like Anthony Edwards doing um like a
Oh,
crazy
off
the
the
dunk
glass, yeah, I
shoot.
just
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
I saw some comments on that and I'm like, I totally agree with. It's like that honestly might be one of the most Jordan things I've seen in a long time.
yeah,
Yeah.
he
We were
looks
talking about that recently with like watching Kobe White and like there's just like one it was like while we were in Texas there was like one dunk that he did that was like so Jordan.
um,
Like
Totally. He had a sick fast break dunk, I remember recently, yeah.
yeah.
Um yeah, totally. Sophia, what about you? I guess growing up, basketball in your life.
Yeah, I mean I grew up like kind of like Andy like a general sports fan for
Yeah.
sure and like um I grew up like playing I tried to play all sports and then I
Hmm.
like kind of settled on soccer. Um and grew up a really big Bears fan and but then my dad is like a huge Bulls fan because he's from Denmark and he moved to Chicago like at the height of the
Yeah.
Bulls. And it was just like that was like his experience coming to Chicago was like that being like his thing. And like I just like yeah, I grew up with like bear stuff or not bear stuff. I mean that too, but bull stuff like around and like just random bears bulls, sorry, toys
Yeah.
um that would just be around and yeah, and then I guess I mean yeah, I definitely got kind of interested in the bulls like on my own
Hmm.
with like Derrick Rose and then it was just like a thing at school, you know, like oh we would
Sure.
just talk about him and stuff and like um and then yeah, I think I was always kind of like on the outside of basketball a little bit, like I didn't know totally like how to get into it, but I like knew so much about it and then
Hmm.
yeah, I feel like Andy really like got me there like right when we started to become friends. It was just like the playoffs like last season and
Hmm.
I feel like it's really easy to get into a sport if you're jumping in during the playoffs. And so
Yeah.
that was like really nice to be able to just like, oh, see all the best teams right now and like just be in it at the most exciting point. And then um like, you know, kind of it like fell back down a little bit when the season ended. And then this season was like starting and I was just like so ready for it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I definitely like I would say it's like a newer thing for me, which is why I felt it appropriate to bring Andy
Yeah.
here.
Well,
Um,
I do feel like it is also it does amplify like your how much you like it when you do have someone to like kind of share it with.
yeah,
And even the
definitely.
passive Instagram of like passing clips back and forth and stuff like that. It's just
Yeah,
like it's nice to have someone to share like the appreciation of that sort of stuff.
totally. Yeah, especially because I feel like I went a long time like existing in like the music world and not having any friends that were like into sports.
Hmm.
And so like me like sneaking away to like watch football games and stuff was like I couldn't like do that with anyone else. And now it's like I feel like now I have like a group of friends that like enjoy sports and it's really fun.
Yeah.
so exciting finding out when people in the music scene are into sports.
Yeah, it'll be
Uh-huh.
like I'll like gasp and be like, "Oh my God, let's talk. Let's sit down."
It's why I started this because I feel like you find it's like a chain reaction where you
Oh
find one
yeah,
person and then
Yeah,
it's just like
totally.
you're amazed how many people there actually are.
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like that was our experience like going on tour with Rat Boys was just
Hmm.
like I mean, I Julie and I like knew each other before the tour and so I'd already kind of like discovered that about each other that we both really love
Hmm.
sports and like especially like football and baseball and stuff and um yeah, that was really fun and we would just be on tour like I just like have this really vivid memory of like one of the first shows like walking off stage and they're like in the green room Julia's like watching like college football like on her phone and like really stressed out and I
Yeah.
was Oh my God. We're just like comparing our, fantasy teams and stuff.
Julia's
But
in my league with it's like an all indie
no,
musician
she's like
basketball league.
telling me, oh, basketball league too, because there was a football
Oh,
league
okay.
like, among musicians, and she was like, next year we're gonna get you in. I
There
was
you
like,
go.
yes,
Yeah,
please.
she's actually playing me this week and destroying. I mean, it's only Monday, but she's destroying me today.
Damn.
Yeah, that's been a fun thing. This is the first year I'm doing it where I got like, Richard from Margot and the Nuclear So and So's and like just a bunch of musicians in a league together, and it's been a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
that's super fun. Yeah, before I did this past football season, I did like just a four-person league with like my
Mhm.
roommate and like two of his like
That's an expansive
friends. And, like,
roster for a four-person league.
I know, yeah, that was like when I showed Julie my team, she's like, I don't understand how you have these players. I'm like,
Right.
no, four people in our league. Before that, I'd only ever played fantasy football against my dad.
Right.
And so yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I guess you mentioned your dad being from Denmark. I do feel like that was also such a thing of that Bulls team is their global presence and
Yeah.
Michael Jordan expanding the game of basketball. Has he ever talked about like kind of like being in
Um,
Denmark and liking basketball or anything?
I'm not sure. I feel like it wasn't really a thing. I mean, I'm not honestly sure, but
Sure.
I feel like he wasn't like, oh, a
Yeah.
huge basketball fan when he was in Denmark, because his whole thing growing up and like in school and stuff was track and field.
Okay.
And then like everyone in Denmark plays soccer,
Mhm.
and that's kind of like the norm. I don't really know
Yeah.
how much basketball playing is going on there, but
Right.
um, but yeah, I always feel like if you come to Chicago and it's like, 96, like yeah, you're gonna end up being a Bulls fan. I feel
Was that
like
when he came here?
yeah, like 95, 96 was
Oh
like
God.
around when he came here. And like, yeah, I mean he tells me about like how there was like this laundromat that his friends and him would go to, and then they'd like drop their stuff off, and then next, like, it was like connected to like a bar, and they would go to the bar and like get burgers and like watch the Bulls game and then like finish their laundry. I was like, that's great.
That
Sick.
sounds like the most
It's like,
Chicago thing ever.
yeah, it's like that sounds like the greatest outing ever. Like, but laundromats don't have bars
Yeah,
now,
right.
I don't think.
I do
So
feel like too the 92 Olympics in Barcelona also helped and kind of Michael Jordan and all those stars like kind of
yeah.
spreading the global game a little bit. So I'm sure in Europe in general that's where it kind of sourced. I had Shiraz from the band Deeper on the podcast and he
Hmm.
talked about um his family being from like France and Paris and like in in Paris like Michael Jordan was like the hugest thing ever.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I guess in both of you guys mentioned growing up and you mentioned playing a little bit. Do either of you guys still play? When's the last time you like shot around?
Oh man.
Ooh, I
You're-
definitely, I mean, I wouldn't say I play like, um, the last time I shot a basketball was not even a real basketball. It was like, um, there was this one when we toured in May and we were opening for a band and playing in like kind of bigger venues. There was this one venue that had, like the fucking like arcade
The Papa shot.
basketball. Yeah, and there was like a bunch of them, and like I've probably spent like 5 hours doing that day. Like got off stage, immediately did that.
You were
Um
getting your reps in.
I really, yeah, and it was like me and like I mean like all of us, we were all doing it, and like the guys in the other band too. And then like the very next day, that the next venue had like an actual hoop outside, and I think I shot like twice and probably missed both. But yeah,
The first time shooting in a long time is like really like eye-opening. I feel
it's
Yeah.
rough. Yeah, it's
Does it
rough.
make it look so easy on
I
TV?
I
know.
know. Yeah.
It's also
I'm like,
like
yeah, I could be at least a 70% free throw shooter.
I'm
it's also like, man, my arms are kind of sore from doing this.
like
Like,
doing one.
yeah,
Like that's so crazy. I don't
right.
understand.
Well, how I guess how active? It seems like you're both pretty active on the Bulls season this year, like paying attention and stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I gotta ask, how you feeling about the team?
Um, it's really been a year of ups and downs. I mean, I feel like when they announced Lonzo was going to miss the season before the season even started, I was like, okay, well, this is a
Here
lost
we go
cause.
again.
Yeah, and I wanted them to blow up the team last year. I
Me
still
too.
kind of want them to do
That was
that.
like how we started the season, was like Andy kept saying that and was like, I want them to lose so that they have
Yeah.
like a worse record. And I was like, no, we have to. I'm like new and like optimistic and like,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's pretty funny.
But
I
then, like,
feel like
without Levine, they've been like so much better.
Yeah.
And they were what, like 5-14 or something like that at one point. And now they're only 2 games under 500. So,
I think I don't know what the exact stat was, but when they have their entire team healthy outside of Lonzo, obviously, their like record is terrible.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
interesting. I mean, I was like watching a lot of those games just like, every single game like alone. And like it was like right around when like Levine got hurt and I was like, yeah, like all these bench players are coming up and like these games are really fun to watch.
Mhm.
Kobe
And
emerged.
Yeah, Kobe,
that's
and then Kobe emerged.
definitely my favorite part of the season has been
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Kobe.
that was
Just like
like,
turn into the player that like people hoped that he could become.
yeah,
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 absolutely. And
I was
because
on the floor.
even last year, I was feeling like there's nobody on this team I want to keep. Like I
Mhm.
Yeah,
don't care. Just keep Caruso and that's it. But like this year, I'm like, oh, we got to keep Kobe. I want to hang on to him.
Kobe is the keeper. Yeah,
Yeah. And I think even earlier in the season, last year it looked like, I guess 2 years ago, it looked like AO was going to be promising, and then
Mhm.
he kind of had a slump, even in the beginning of this year. But the past week or so, AO's looked really
yeah,
good.
Been awesome. Yeah. I feel like the Bulls, their young players are like they do really well when their role is like clearly defined, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that when DeMar and Zach are out there, it really like obscures everybody else's
Hmm.
role because I I don't know, I'm like a little bit of a DeMar and Zach hater, but
I'm a
like
Zach hater for sure.
yeah, yeah. Um well, that's the thing too, is like even when Zach has been out, DeMar has been like a way better playmaker and like
Hmm.
moving the ball and like um I don't know. I think like with all those young players, they really benefit from like not having to watch a superstar dribble the ball for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah,
think they work
and
best when they can, like, you don't have to count on one person to be your like clutch player. Like if the shots aren't falling for DeMar, at the end of the game, go to Kobe, go to Zach, go to someone else. So
yeah.
they just
Mhm.
need to like balance that better.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So what do we do with the team? If you're GM, like, are we trading? Are we trading away? I feel like we're getting to that point in the season where we got to decide.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's tough because we go that week. There's like a week stretch where it's like, oh, we're playing pretty good.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's definitely like a number of players that I would, be like, yeah, we could let them go. I think,
Hmm.
yeah, I have like allegiance to like Kobe and in like ways like Caruso too, like,
Yeah.
and um
I'd hang on to Patrick Williams. I mean,
yeah,
it's let's I think there's still something to see there.
I think so too. I
yeah,
mean, so young.
Yeah,
Uh, and just like the he shows flashes of being so good.
totally.
Uh, especially when like again with Zach out, he's like played more aggressively and like
Mhm.
seems like he's not afraid to like take more shots and um I don't know, I'm like so on the fence about Caruso because he's like one of my favorite players, but part of me is like you should trade him to a contender who
It's
would give
true.
you draft picks for him
Get
right
good
now
value.
because
Yeah,
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 because a contender would overpay for him right now. And also I just want to see him like on a really good team.
yeah, that
Uh,
would be really
totally.
sick.
I would love to see him on the Knicks.
Oh,
Uh,
Ooh.
yeah.
he's such a Tibbs player.
Hmm.
Um,
Just,
but
That'd be sick.
ship Caruso and Levine to the Knicks and just give me those picks. And
right, yeah.
they already traded Barrett, so you can't get that guy back. But
Right, yeah. I don't know. I kind of I would hang on to Kobe and Io and Patrick Williams. I don't
Getting rid of the rest.
I think pretty much everyone else is on the table for me.
I mean, it's not like you have to trade like Javon Carter. Like, you got to fill out the roster somehow. So it's just like,
Yeah,
just fill the roster and let the young guys play.
yeah. They just really need draft picks.
Let's go to
Uh,
Oklahoma City then. They have so many.
oh my God, yeah.
Mhm.
They're like positioned to like dominate the league for a decade, I feel like.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
I guess outside of being Bulls fans, if you had to pick another team you root for, I know you, Andy, you mentioned the Timberwolves.
Yeah, the Timberwolves and the Knicks probably are like
Sure.
I don't know why, but like even like during the Derrick Rose days, like for some reason the Timberwolves were like my second like I loved Ricky Rubio, just like
Yeah.
my like random second favorite player.
Mm-hmm.
But I totally bought into the Ricky Rubio hype when he
Totally.
came to the US. Like I had a Ricky Rubio jersey when I was like 14. Uh,
Recently retired.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I've got a soft spot for the Timberwolves. Maybe it's the Cubs fan in me,
Yeah.
and they're, lovable losers.
I mean, there is a, you may not notice this, but you're just picking teams that Derrick Rose played for.
True, very true. And Taj Gibson and
Yep.
uh,
And then Tibbs is coaching the Knicks, and
yeah.
just follow the Bulls everywhere. That's what you got to do. Jimmy Butler played for the T Wolves.
hmm
What about you, Sofia?
Um, I mean, I definitely like root for the Knicks. I would say
Yeah.
I really, really like watching Jalen Brunson and like
Mm-hmm.
uh, that's been fun. Uh, and then honestly, yeah, like the Spurs. Like I
Yeah.
just find
It's
myself
hard
rooting for
not to
them.
want to
It's
watch
just like,
Wemby.
yeah, I just want to watch him, and then it's like I don't know, it's fun. They like mostly suck,
Right.
but he's just so fun, and I don't know. Yeah, I kind of was like decided to do that at the beginning
Yeah.
of the season.
hmm
And then
I've
whenever they do win, it's like it's really fun.
Yeah. I do feel like Wembanyama kind of has that like universal attraction, kind of like how the past few years with like Otani and the MLB, where it's like
Hmm.
everyone's just fascinated by it.
Yeah,
Totally.
it's hard not to love.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
watching him sometimes, like it feels like you're like watching history. It's
Yeah.
like
yeah,
this guy seems like he's gonna be an all-time great, and like I don't know. I mean, it's so early to say that, but he's just like, if he stays healthy, he looks so
Right.
down.
Well,
And
the guy can like do yoga and like, put his face to his feet. So
yeah,
yeah.
crazy. Um, yeah, cool. So the other thing I kind of sent you guys before is there's like a little segment we do where we try and build a band out of NBA players. And I don't know if you guys want to work together, if you each had one, but
we
We
were
whatever you guys
texting
want
about
to do.
discussed
this.
we discussed before.
Okay, okay. You have a collaborative team. All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's hear it. What are you guys thinking?
All right. I have it pulled up here.
Okay.
So we were thinking Jimmy Butler as like the singer, and then acoustic guitar also.
I
And
already I already sensed the twang.
yeah, it's definitely, well, I described it to Andy as like a combination or somewhere between country and power pop is this band that we're making. And then Andy thought it would be really funny to have Wembanyama on pedal steel.
The
Um,
limbs, the
yeah,
limbs.
just
We
the
definitely need like a
knees.
custom one built for
The
him.
knees would be so crazy.
I feel
Yeah,
like
like
his
really tall.
posture doing that is kind of like the weird like spider guy from Spirited Away. I don't know
Yeah.
if you ever see.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Like it would just be like wrong, but like
yeah,
it would be sick as
Yeah.
fuck.
I mean, he'd be like sitting down and probably still the tallest person on stage.
Yeah.
totally. It's
Um,
amazing.
but yeah, and then Kobe White on lead guitar.
It's got the
Um,
energy for sure.
yeah, I feel like he's just like he's
He's
spry,
bringing the power pop.
got
Yeah.
these like
Yeah, I wonder like what kind
like
of guitar would he play? Like
I
a
know, I was just thinking that too. Um,
A jangly like strat tone I could see.
like a Mustang, maybe
Oh, okay.
something like that.
Hmm.
Like that would be sick. There's like, yeah, just like a white Mustang.
Okay. Okay.
Um, yeah, and then Jokic on bass.
Totally. I
Um,
mean, just the he's got like the bass wristbands.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's holding it down. It's like punchy.
Right.
Mhm. I
And
see
then
him doing harmonies too.
oh yeah, definitely singing too. He's like a really like earnest singer.
Hmm.
And then Alex Caruso on drums.
Nice.
And that's our band.
I feel like Caruso definitely, I mean, the drums are like the backbone, and Caruso is the defensive
Yeah,
backbone.
we were saying this just like I don't know, drums is defense.
Yeah,
Hmm.
totally.
And
Uh,
so yeah.
I feel like actually too with Jokic, kind of does fit that country theme because he just wants to go home to his horses and
Oh, he
Oh
literally just
yeah,
wants to go home. That's the thing. Yeah.
yeah,
totally. Yeah.
this is
Oh
my
yeah.
job.
We came up with a band name too for them. And they're called Utah Jazz.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Absolutely. It's got the country vibes. I can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. I love that. Cool. So that's kind of all I got. It's been great talking basketball and music with you guys.
Yeah, you too. This is really fun.
Thanks for
Definitely. I
having us.
appreciate you coming on, and I'll definitely, be looking forward to the new record when that comes out, and we're gonna have to get you on for a half court session this summer.
Yeah, would love to.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us.
All right, thank you.